what maybe 3 years ago or so, I started down this path of, yeah, I guess maybe a little bit after Hex launched, I was thinking, okay, this project looks great. Everything's going well. I believe in Richard. I think he's doing every breath he takes is making sure this project is a success. So again, that's the horse I'm going to bet on. I'm going to bet on him. I'm going to be crypto rich one day. I'm going to turn that into a bunch of amazing stuff. Going to have generational wealth. I'm going to be able to, be the best version of myself because I'm financially free. I can do the things I like to do and token my family and all these things. I can do a lot of good things that promote a lot of ideals I feel are healthy in the world. I do that. I know it's coming. I know it's going to happen. I can't tell you when, but I know it's going to happen. I need to prepare myself. I don't want to be the dummy who gets rich. I don't want to be the lottery ticket winner, right? I don't want to wake up one day and say, okay, my investment's doing really good. I'm going to cash out now. Or I'm going to start cashing out, multi-millionaire, and now I'm just going to go blow it on a bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go make a bunch of bad investments. I'm going to, I need to be financially literate. I need to be emotionally, my emotional health needs to be good. My mental health needs to be good. My physical health needs to be good. I need to gain wisdom. I need to seek out people other than Richard. I'll keep listening to Richard. I'll still go through his stuff. I think he provides a lot of value too. But I need even more people to mentor me and make sure that I'm going to, when this happens, I'm going to make the best decisions that I won't mess it up. I don't live with regrets. I'm not a person who really believes in regrets. I think everything happens for a reason. But if I ever had a regret, if I ever had a reason to have a regret, it would be messing up generational wealth. So I got to make sure that doesn't happen. So I go down this rabbit hole. I start seeking out all these different, books and literature. The last 3 years I've probably read or listened to, I'd say 50 to 100 different books, quality books too, all the best finance books, all the best, philosophy stuff from different people, different walks of life, different eras, all that stuff. And Naval Ravikant is one I still listen to today. He's got a lot of amazing stuff, like the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, probably my favorite book of all time. I've listened to it, got to be 6 times now. Fantastic book. But you got to be ready. Some of the stuff you have to be ready for, the phrase is the master will appear when the student is ready. That's really when people ask for advice. Oh, what books should I read? How can I get better? You have a conversation with them, and they can tell that a lot they don't know. So they start asking for advice. You tell them a couple things, they'll never read it. 99% of the time, they will never pick up that book. You can give them the book physically. You can send it to them, in your chat. You can tell them all about it. You can give them the summary. You can say, this book did this for me. 9 times out of 10, they will never pick that book up. They will never read it, and even if they do, they won't get it. It won't soak in. It won't mean something to them. It won't make them take action because they're just not ready. They don't have that thirst for knowledge and thirst to make progress in their lives. They just don't have that motivation to do it. So I've had that struggle advising people, through my journey as well, because they see me changing, but we have conversations and they just don't get, a lot of stuff that I talk about, that I've been able to soak in and use my own life. But that's what started it. I wanted to not mess it up because I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen for a lot of people in our community. It's going to keep happening. It's already happened to a lot of people. It's going to keep happening, and I want to make sure I'm ready for it. So went down all the stuff. I want to figure out, happiness is a state. You go back and forth, oscillate, all that stuff. Financial literacy. How do stocks work? How do bonds work? How does the markets work? Market psychology. Trusts, foundations. How do you use all this stuff to your own advantage? And just in life too, figure out what you want to do and what your life, where you are in your current state in life and where you want to go and the different milestones you want to hit. Setting up systems, not goals. That was a big part of it too. You want to create an environment where you naturally get lucky. You make your own luck instead of just trying to figure stuff out and, oh, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Compounding, all these different mental models that Richard's talked about before too. You can compound in a good way and you can compound in a bad way. And I'm sure you look around, you see people in your life who they just keep getting worse. You can't help them. They keep they're either doing nothing. They're either watching Netflix all day, or they have a full-time job they'll never escape. Maybe that 2 categories. And they keep compounding, but they're just never going to get where they really want to go. Whereas when you start streaming, when you start writing, creating, blogging, when you're thirsty for information, all that stuff can compound towards a mission that you're on. Just a tidbit of what I went through I've got a bunch of different, if anyone's interested in some of the YouTube channels, like Picking Nuggets, that's probably my favorite YouTube channel of all time for health, wealth, wisdom. This guy just clips all of this different, really good content from Naval and a bunch of Tim Ferriss, a bunch of other people, and just gives you, he literally goes through and does this like slideshow of like all these nuggets and points. And there's a mailing list and stuff too, but that guy's really good. So shout out to him. But you really got to be ready. Like, again, you talk to people, maybe they want something, maybe they don't. How serious are they about it? You have to be ready to consume this and act upon it, or else it's going to be a book that's just going to sit there on your bookshelf forever.
Yeah, I actually follow Naval, his tweets and stuff, and I follow his podcast, but I don't get to listen to him. There's just so much content out in the world. And I totally get what you're saying, like trying to get somebody to read a book. I don't know if it's just that we're in such a visual audio like world where people just don't want to sit down and actually read. I think they just want to consume things. So it's either got to be like a book on tape or, you know, put a YouTube video on and just listen to it that way. But I like reading the book sometimes first and then watching the video. Like, you know, I've done that with TV shows, so you can develop things in your own mind first and then kind of get a different grasp. But I think it's great what you're doing. Like, I'm into all this stuff now, like looking to like towards like self-help. You're on the right track, in my opinion, just preparing yourself for when you do get that sudden wealth syndrome or to avoid getting it. Like, to avoid it, these tools. Yeah, you'll have these tools in place. Like, you know, how do I set up a trust, or how can I extract value? Like things like liquid loans can actually help with that. And I think you're like a fan of it. But there's tons of like different DeFi tools that are going to be out there.
Yeah.